Hello, 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 everyone. This is Harry the Big Dog, and this is Ready Live Pro, where we interview all of the entrepreneurs in the world and tell you about their business. Today, we have a very, very special guest to me. We have Claudine, and she started a transport company, and we're going to hear all about this new endeavor. So let's bring her on board. Hey, Claudine.
Hey, Harry the big dog. How are you today?
I am good. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful.
That is great. How's the weather out there?
Uh, Raining.
I guess that's going to come this way soon. So,
Absolutely. I think everyone should get hit with the rain.
yeah, we need it, right?
Yes,
April showers.
rain,
So
flowers.
let's get this started. We are Ready Live Pro, and we interview entrepreneurs from all over. Claudine, you started this transportation business. Let everyone know how you got into it, the name of the business, and how's it going right now.
Okay, so I'm going to start out saying how I got into the business. I recently retired from a large utility company based in New York, and my retirement date was August 1st, 2021. But I figured, hey, I'm still a young girl. Why not go into something different? So, my cousin had approached me with this nuance that maybe, if we started a transportation company, how would that go? So, I basically told Jamar, hey, maybe it's a good idea. So we got together and started a transportation company. But the main goal of the transportation company is to have one asset pay for the other asset because Jamar and I are both into real estate. So we figured the trucking company will pay for the fourplex that we are currently in the process of building from the ground up. So we
Wow.
had some property. So we said, okay, let's take this property and turn it into something good for the community. So that's why. So as
Wow.
far as what's happening with the business today, the business is going well. Actually, looking to partner with some friends so we can expand the business more. We're into talks about partnering and how we should go about it and exactly what should happen in that process. So right
Right.
now we have a timeline, and we want to really get started before the end of the month.
Right. Right. That is so dope. So you retired from the utilities and probably sat for about a day and a half or you was working on this while you were in the process of retiring and trucking. What why trucking?
Well, I was actually working on this before I retired, and it kind of boasted me to retire even, even more. COVID was part of it, but
Uh-huh.
actually, my cousin brought this to me in February, and we started the company in March.
Wow. So you're just about a year into this right now.
Yes, absolutely. And
Ah.
you asked the question, what prompted me to go into transportation? Actually, is going, totally left from where I came from, but not
Yeah.
really, not really. Because when I was in the military, I actually was in a transportation unit. For those military people out there, it was the '88 Mike series. That's all
Uh-huh.
about transportation.
Yep.
So I'm just basically coming full circle with what I initially started.
Wow. Wow. And for you guys who don't know, we go way, way back. We were in the army together, driving trucks. Go figure, right?
Go figure.
So now you get into this trucking business. Is it as simple? I know you did a little research. Is it as simple as people made it seem initially?
Absolutely not. Um, I don't think any business is as easy as people make it seem because all business need attention.
Right.
So I look at it as yes, I learned some things prior to, joining. I do a lot of reading. I'm basically a semi researcher. I also go to the University of YouTube. Don't really mean to give them a plug, but they do have a lot of interesting topics on YouTube.
YouTube University.
Yes, but I had some help along the way. Actually, this young man who's been in the business for 4 years, Jamel, he actually helped me out along the way. He was a
Okay.
friend of my cousin's, and when he found out we were trying to get into this business, he just went all out for us. And I am just really, really happy to be in the presence of Jamel. And he's one of those people. He don't charge you for information. He basically gives you the information, and it's up to you to act on that information. And he doesn't
Wow.
mind answering questions no matter what. So it's really great being in his presence, and I give him kudos for even being in this business for 4 years. Um,
Wow.
you
Shout
know,
out
he,
to Jamel.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Jamel. But he basically, if you need some hand holding, he would do it. You know, um, I think now he's, you know, making me shed a little bit of load and saying, "Hey, you're on your own now." Just kidding. But Mel is always a good source. Jamel's always a good source to go to.
Wow. So now, getting into this trucking company, did you have trucks already? Did you rent trucks? How did you go about that?
Absolutely not. I did research on renting trucks. Saw how expensive it was. You have to pay for the rental plus the mileage that you use. And if you're doing
Wow.
the interstate, you don't really want to go that route.
Not going 3,000 miles to California from New York, right?
Right, right. So I basically looked around, scrounged, looked around. Um, my cousin looked around for me, and I basically said, you know what? I was avoiding the new truck dealership, which was about 20 minutes from my house. And I said, you know what? Can't find anything worth my while, so let me go ahead and go to this dealership. It's right off Interstate 84. For anybody who knows upstate New York, um, but they were very good to me. They didn't have any trucks available because during this time we were in COVID. Um, Transportation was exploding, and I was like, hey, I gotta find me a truck. So went to them, and lo and behold, the salesperson I was speaking to, he said, hey, there's a guy who wants to get rid of his smaller, axle box truck, and he wants to go to the bigger trucks.
Right.
I said, well, can you give him a call and see what his pricing is? So he gave the guy a call, and the guy said, hey, I just want to get from under these payments. He really didn't want any money. He just wanted to
Really?
get from under the payments, and he was willing to let the truck go. And we switched, and here I am today. I have a 26 footer with the lift gate on the road, interstate, by the way.
Nice. Nice. So you didn't immediately jump into the big rigs, the 18 wheelers.
No, I'm actually so the reason why I went with the box truck is because I felt anybody could drive those. When I
Right.
heard about the shortage of CDL drivers, I used to be a CDL driver myself. but I heard about a shortage, and I said, you know what? Let's go with the more common commercial vehicles. And living in New York, you see box trucks all the time, 12
Right.
footers, 22 footers, 26 footers. So I said, yeah, let's go for the 26 footer with the lift gate. My cousin and I, we agreed. But actually, now I'm actually looking into the semi, um, trying to transition into that.
Okay. So you're progressing as things go on.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Why wait?
I know, right? Oh man. So how is the trucking business to those who actually don't know, and give us a little insight of what it entailed? How do you get calls? How do you transport anything?
Well, the first thing you want to do is sign up with brokers, like C.H. Robinson, for example.
Right.
So you want to sign up with these brokers so you can carry their freight. But there's something called a load board that you go on to look for freight. It's a little difficult to go straight to a shipper when you're new and you really don't know anything. It's actually really weird if you don't have anyone to let you know, hey, you need a load board, you need to sign up with brokers.
Right.
Basically you make phone calls and negotiate that spot buy for the day. That's what they call it. And then if you get it, you negotiate it, you pick it up, and you take it where it needs to go in a timely and safe manner.
Of course. Now, I know that doesn't always happen because when I'm on the road, some of these truckers, they drive like maniacs.
Yeah, you have electronic logging devices in the vehicle. Some of them, like Key Truck, and again, not to give them a plug, but you have that device. You could kind of monitor the driver sometimes,
Okay.
especially with like the front facing cameras. It tells you where the driver is located. It tells you, let's say the driver slams on his brake. It gives you that video to let you know,
Wow.
hey, something's going on with your driver.
That is trucking technology right there.
At its best. At its best. But don't get me wrong, nothing is easy in any business. Like I said before, the trucking business is no different. You have
Right.
breakdowns. You got to figure out, hey, where am I going to get this truck fixed now? How am I going to pay these people? You got to have gas cards like till the pilot. I know everybody's seen the Flying J pilot or the
Mm-hmm.
Loves or the TAs. I know everybody's seen that on the roadway. Those are the
JP
people you,
Hunt.
yeah, those are the people you generally go to for repairs on the road. But it's very, very important to keep the truck maintenance up because you don't really want to get into those type of habits.
Right. I mean, some of these trucks stay at, they go 750,000, a million miles, and as long as the maintenance is kept up and you do everything correctly, most of the time you'll be on the road. Those wheels will be spinning.
Absolutely. So
Wow.
get the oil changes, make sure you have the inspection, and then you got the almighty Department of Transportation out there, actually, performing, inspections not only on the vehicles but also on the driver to make sure they didn't drive past their hours, and just trying to keep the whole community safe. That's how I look at it.
Right, right. For those who are just joining us, we have Claudine with Claf Logistics LLC, and she's talking about how she got into the transportation business. So, with with that said, and the route you went, why didn't you go the route of a cargo van? Because I know people will start there. Is it because you had the funds, or you just didn't want to start at that level?
It's probably a little bit of both. Coupled with all of this stuff. It's the fact that I really didn't know much about cargo vans, but the
Right.
biggest thing to me was you have to look at the money as well. What's the revenue? what's your return on investment? Um, the semis is probably going to get you the biggest bang for your buck, but it's more expensive.
Right.
So when I decide to purchase anything, I like to meet in the middle.
Okay.
So the 26 footer was in the middle.
In the middle of a big rig and a cargo van.
Right.
Got
So
it.
that's the
Oh,
offset. And like I said before, it's really about the drivers as well. You know, there's a big shortage of drivers, so just want to try to get into the right spot. Not only to maintain revenue and keep the company going, but also to give people opportunities.
right. So I know you're working on some bigger projects right now. Um, are you at liberty to talk about any of them?
Oh yeah, the one project I definitely am at liberty to speak about right now is I'm actually working with the Department of Labor in New York State to formulate an apprentice program for drivers. So with that being said, we want to maintain our drivers. And as I said before, I want to sustain these drivers. So the companies that I'm affiliated with, the transportation companies that I'm affiliated with, so we can all be prosperous, not just our companies, but a lot of small companies out there. So that's my main focus right now, is just to couple my knowledge with apprenticeships from my previous job to now.
Right. Oh, that is sweet. And it's much needed, that apprentice program, because you hear, if you listen to the news, you hear about the trucking industry and all the everything that's going on with the shortages, the pileups at the ports and everything. A lot of trucking companies are going out of business because they don't have enough drivers. So that is way much needed. Now, getting getting back to how you get business, do you have your own dispatchers, or did you start out doing it yourself?
Actually, my cousin and I, we started out doing it ourselves, but you can't really sustain that if you want to move your business forward. So
Right.
now I have a dispatcher. I actually just called her on a Sunday and said, hey, I need your help. I need you to dispatch for me. Are you willing to do it? And she said yes. So, at 10% of each load, she dispatches the load, she handles the truck drivers, and that's what you couldn't ask for anything better, you know.
She
So he's
she's
in great.
saying you're awesome.
She's even more awesome because I don't have to do that anymore. So the way she negotiates and just handle the brokers. Her favorite thing is when they pick up the phone, I could tell their attitude for the day. So they get the same attitude that they give me. And you can't ask for
Right.
anybody who can handle themselves more than that.
Right.
So that really makes me proud of her. And, we work together.
Nice. So now, with that going on, um, what's the future plans of Claft? Claf Logistics.
Well, the future plans for Claf is going to stay Claf. Claf is a certified service disabled veteran owned company. Claf is actually a certified woman owned company in New York. I actually get a lot of different invites to a lot of different mediums. So I
Right.
try my best to just go out there and try to network. A lot of virtual stuff now because a lot of people think COVID is gone, but it's not. So a lot of people are still doing virtual, but it's good to actually mingle with people and try to see what else is out there.
Yeah, definitely. For those who want to get into the trucking business, what do you recommend for them?
Well, I recommend
or the
them doing their
transportation
research.
business?
I recommend them doing their research and actually, think about what you're doing before you spend your money. If you know anybody in the business, reach out to them. Maybe they can steer you the right way, or maybe they'll tell you you're crazy for doing it. But I don't see that I'm crazy for doing it. It's just I've always wanted to do something for myself. So I
Right.
figured working, you know, 8 to 12 hours for a company for 30 years, I can at least work 8 hours a day for myself.
For yourself. Yes. Yes. Put in the chat. Amen to that.
So that's
Because
basically
a lot of people will give that time to, other things and not to their self and their business. So
right. But
kudos to you.
owning a business is really like a 24/7, 365 type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not willing to dedicate time, then the
Yes.
business is not going to thrive.
Yes, you are absolutely right with that. Absolutely right. So now you talked about the big rigs and you're looking to get into them. Why the big rigs now?
Well,
Better
I had
opportunities, more money, anything?
it's a little bit of both. I was invited by a couple of my partners to actually look at that realm and check out the big rigs. And yes, it's more money, but with more money comes more headaches. So there's maintenance, there's fuel, there's just so many things when it comes to the big rigs. But as anything else, if you go ahead and maintain that vehicle is going to maintain you. So that's how I look at it. When it's time to spend the money to take care of the vehicle, you need to you need to get it done.
Correct. You are absolutely correct about that. Ooh. I am like real excited and happy for you and your endeavors. Is there anyone you want to shout out?
Well, I want to shout out to my girl Robin. Thank you, Robin, for introducing me to a couple people. I
Shout to
want to shout out
Robin.
to Heesian. The the baddest dispatcher I know. So I want to shout out to her. I want to shout out to my cousin Jamar. I want to shout out to Jamel, my go-to guy. Shout out to Cassandra. We started a transportation group. So once a month we have this group that come on and just speak about the transportation industry. So
Right.
we try to mix it up and make it interesting. We invite people who talk about financing of equipment, just financing in general on your business as opposed to personal guaranteeing anything that has to do with your business.
Right.
So with that being said, we actually sit there and, like I said, shake it up. Sometimes we ask people to tell us about their story, like you're doing with me right now. How
Right.
did you get there? Why would you do it? You know, how far is it going to go? What's next? So we have conversations about that with everyone in the group. It started out with just a couple people, but it ended up now I think we have about maybe 9 to 11 folks out there that
Oh,
come in
that's
and join.
nice.
Yeah,
So now I know a lot of transportation people are loners. Do you find it better to have a group of people, of like-minded people that you can gel with?
absolutely. I do find it better to work in teams. I used to watch this home show that says, teamwork makes the dream work. And, I tell people that all the time because I honestly believe if you get the right group of people to
Mm-hmm.
come together and do the right thing and just basically be honest and help each other and be free with information because you can make them go out and look at it and
Right.
go find it themselves. But why? When you have it. So
Right.
I believe in giving. You're blessed when you give, so you always get it back in return. So I honestly believe that.
Before we start wrapping this thing up, take us back a little to your army life and your truck driving. Where did you start driving truck, and where did you end up driving?
Well, you know, I've driven trucks a couple places around the world. So I actually was in the communication sector. Um, I was in the 31 series when I was in the army. I was stationed in Germany first, so that's where I drove. My first military vehicle, I drove in Germany. And if you know anything about the mountains and the hills in Germany, the roadway is very narrow going up some of those steep hills. So, one time I broke my arm trying to handle a steering wheel, trying to come down an embankment on a nice
Wow.
cold morning. So, I hit the side of the mountain and the truck spun out a little bit, but got it back under control and didn't know my arm was broken until we got back. But the whole crew got back safe and safe and sound, so it wasn't that bad.
That was a little scary.
I don't know. I think when you're young, you're a little dumb, so I don't know if I was scared at that time. But definitely knew it was serious once I found out my arm was broken. So
Right. Oh man.
moving on from there, not just driving in the military. I actually had a CDL while I was working for the utility in New York. So me and transportation, we've been together for a while. So I think
For
it's
a while.
I think it's a full circle. It's a 360. I'm back to it, and hopefully it lands me where I need to be.
Nice. I know, one quick story. When we were in the army, we drove the Rambo vehicle. What did they call that? Deuce and a half.
2.5 tons.
So for everybody that's seen Rambo, that truck, that's what we drove.
But don't forget, it also had a trailer on the back.
Yeah. A big one. Generators, the whole nine. But I do appreciate everything that you are doing for this industry. I understand, from us talking, offline, that you're looking to take this thing big time, especially with this apprentice program. I mean, that like we talked about, that is much needed. You're looking to get into the big rigs, the 18 wheeler ones, and work with a lot of military veterans as well. So kudos to that, and all the veterans that'll be watching this and will reach out to you. You think we can get your dispatcher on one day
I
for an
don't know.
interview?
I think she'll do it. I don't know, but you might have to like turn off her camera or something. I don't know, but she may be willing to do it. Dejan, you think you will be willing to do it? Come on live
put
stream,
put
Dejan,
put in the
live.
chat so we could let everybody know what you do, because her job is important too. She keeps those wheels rolling.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I don't even have to call Tahitian. She already knows what to do. One
Yeah.
day, tell you a quick funny story. She was like, "What about this load?" She had texted me, and I was like, I think I was in the shower or whatever. And I came back out of the shower and looked at the phone. She was like, "I'm taking it." So she really didn't need any direction from me to say whether she was taking a load or not. She's basically self sufficient when it comes to those type of things. Very
And like
very
you,
great negotiator, and I
yeah,
just appreciate everything she does.
yeah. We'll get the whole crew on, and we look forward to you coming back, maybe with a couple of your partners, and in the future and talk about what's going on with the apprentice program and everything else that happened.
Well, I
So
appreciate your time, Harry. I
yes,
appreciate your friendship. I appreciate everyone who attended the call. Let's keep trucking. That's all I can say.
that's it. And shout out to everybody who's watching the replay on this. Type in the chat replay. But thank you for your time and thank you for everything you do. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to leave you on stage with me and we're going to wrap this up. This is Harry the Big Dog, and this is Ready Live Pro, where we interview entrepreneurs and talk about their business and how they are adding to the world. We will see you next time.
Thanks, my family.